I am going to be doing a different sort of video, something that I think about every now and then, but it had kind of popped into my head as, hey, maybe I should do a video about that. And then I got thinking more about it. So today I'm going to be sharing my tips with you on how to live a more positive life. And this is just my perspective on things that have worked for me that I thought I would share with you in hopes to make your life more positive as well. I'll also start by saying I'm a work in progress. I think all humans are, but I'm always trying to grow and improve and work on myself in many different aspects. While I'm a pretty optimistic person, I of course have my down days or my off days just like anybody, and I think that that's normal, and I think that those days are important in their own way in that they make us appreciate the good days or the easy times or when things are going well for us. We have one life, and I want to make the most of mine and live positively. So as I had kind of touched on in the beginning, I wanted to share with you some of the things that have worked for me to have a more positive life. And hopefully they will help you too. I would love it if you would leave in the comments some of your tips for others on how they could live a more positive life, because not only will it help me, but hopefully it will help them if we can all share our suggestions about what has worked for us. Now, some of these things I'm going to touch on are small and simple things, while others might take a little bit more work to achieve. These are not in any order as far as importance or anything like that. I just numbered them as I was thinking of them. But number one on the list of contributing to living a more positive life, or at least it does for me, is to make your bed every morning. I used to not do this regularly, but now I do. And it's a simple thing that takes only a few minutes. I think because I've recorded clips of me doing it for this video, it takes me 3 minutes on average every day. So a very short time commitment for something that can have a positive impact on your day. It starts my day off accomplishing something small. It makes things look and feel a bit more put together, which in turn affects my overall mood. So that's one simple thing you could maybe try if you don't do it yourself, and see if it changes the way you feel about your morning, your day, or when you walk into your bedroom. Number two is exercise. And I know this gets talked about a lot, and I think there's a reason for that. I've noticed it have a positive impact on my life, and I even find if I go numerous days without doing some sort of workout or moving my body in some way, I feel either more lethargic or low energy or just down in my overall mood, or sometimes just have an off feeling. I never really worked out regularly or as consistently until the pandemic in 2020. And during that time, the two things that helped me get into working out regularly, because as a lot of people, I had a gym membership. I would go a couple of days a week to the gym, but I canceled that gym membership when things closed down and nobody could go. And so I was looking to do workouts, but from home. That is where I found out about Emily Thorne. Jessica Braun had mentioned her on her channel one day, and I went and checked her out. And her workouts were just so fun that it started to motivate me to want to do more workouts, because her workouts were fun and I found myself enjoying them, something I hadn't really been able to say about exercise prior to that. And I looked forward to her workouts. They were just fun HIIT dance workouts. I think a big part of it too was the music aspect of it, and just her personality and her real but positive attitude when it comes to exercise and not giving you all the BS and lies that some fitness influencers can give. And over time, I began to incorporate some of her other workouts because she would sprinkle in others here and there, more strength workouts with dumbbells and kettlebells. And while her HIIT workouts will always be my favorite, I really saw the need for doing more than just cardio. While they are still challenging for me, I also enjoy her strength workouts because I know it's good for my body. I know it's making me stronger. It kind of gives me some variety, because that's the thing with me too with exercise is I don't want to do the same type of workout day in and day out because I find that boring. So I like to change it up and maybe do dumbbells one day, a HIIT the next day, kettlebell the next day, maybe some yoga thrown in there. So I change it up to keep myself interested, but also because then my body is being challenged in different ways. So her workouts were kind of, I guess, the gateway, I would say, into me working out more consistently because I started to enjoy working out and the way that it made me feel. Not that it was easy for me or wasn't challenging, but it just got me enjoying it more. And the second thing that helped me to work out consistently was around the same time I learned about the 2-day rule, which sounds very simple, but for some reason really worked for me to look at things this way. And it's basically not allowing yourself to miss a good habit for more than 2 days in a row. So let's say today is Wednesday when I'm recording this. Today I don't work out. Today is day 1. Tomorrow is Thursday. That would be day 2. So for me, typically, I don't let myself get to day 2 without fitting in that good habit of working out or whatever it may be. But ultimately, you just don't want to get to day 3 and still not be working out, because the idea of it is the longer you go without continuing that good habit, the harder it is going to be to get back into it. But for me, it just was kind of a mindset shift, I guess, of instead of feeling like, oh, I have to work out every day or I have to work out Monday through Friday or whatever. It's okay to miss a day, but then don't, because you missed a day, think, oh, I missed yesterday. What's the point of doing it today? So to keep you on track to have that 2-day rule, and this could be applied to any habit that you're trying to create or stick with. You could even use it on the reverse of, let's say you're trying to cut out something from your diet, sugar, salt, whatever it may be. And instead of going cold turkey, I'm not going to eat sugar anymore. Well, maybe you could not eat sugar on Monday, and then, oh, Tuesday, you had that cookie or whatever it may be. Well, instead of kind of sabotaging yourself completely and saying, well, I broke my promise to myself and I had sugar, so I'm just going to eat the whole cake now. You could enjoy your cookie or whatever for that day, but then don't continue to eat the sugar the next day. So I feel like that was a long explanation, and I hope that makes sense, but I'll put some information in the description box with more concise information about the 2-day rule, or maybe another video explaining it better than I can explain it. But those are the 2 things that have really helped me to consistently work out, plus just the fact of when I don't get to, I notice a difference in my mindset, how I feel, all of that. Number 3, to live a more positive life, is daily gratitude. Another one that's probably talked about a lot, but I have definitely found to be helpful. I'm not as consistent with this one as I would like to be. I want to do it every day, but it ends up usually being a few times a week. I have a journal that I keep next to my bed that I consider my gratitude journal. In it, I write down things that I'm grateful for from that day. I'm working on getting more specific with it, but it's not always that detailed. For instance, I might write how I'm grateful for my family. But to get more specific, I could write, I'm grateful for how my mom brings me joy with her kind gestures and support. So I'm working on those specifics part of things, but even without the specifics, I enjoy writing in this journal. It has helped me to be more positive and live a more positive life, and that it helps me to appreciate even the smallest things, and it gives me perspective as well. So even on those down negative days that I have, and we inevitably all have, I can still stop and find the good from that day and appreciate the good things that I can. Sometimes you have to look for them, but they're always there. You just have to dig a little bit deeper on certain days, but there's always something, whether it be a big thing or a very small thing, like Duncan made me smile. And I think the act of writing these things down can make you, as I said, not only aware of them, but appreciate them more. And things that we tend to take for granted, such as clean water and having a hot shower and just even little everyday things that we take for granted, as well as the big things like, oh, I had a great achievement today, or things like that. My number 4 suggestion on how to live a more positive life is to pay someone a compliment. This is another one that I should do more often. It could be someone you know or a stranger, as long as it is genuine. For example, I've caught myself thinking that, say, a cashier at a checkout that I'm at, I like her nails. In the past, I would just kind of think to myself, oh, I like her nails, they're pretty, da da da. Well, now I take the moment to tell her that I like her nails, and I either like the color, or I like the way they're painted, or whatever it may be, I tell her that. Or it could be, that's a pretty top, or whatever it may be. Simple, small compliments of things you might happen to notice about people out in public that, instead of internalizing it, tell them, pay them a compliment. It always makes me feel good and more positive, brightening their day by giving them that compliment. Think of how good it makes you feel when someone compliments you, and how that can stay with you and make you feel good. And you might even remember weeks later, oh, this is the top I wore that lady liked, or I remember when that woman complimented my nails and that just made me feel good, kind of thing. So how you feel when someone pays you that compliment, you can also get that feeling when you pay someone else a compliment. Along those lines, I try to let someone know when they're in the service industry or customer service, when they've gone above and beyond. In my experience, it's common for people to complain or be vocal about a negative customer service experience, but not so quick to be vocal about it when it's a positive experience. So they might call out, let's say, a server when things don't go the way that they thought they should, but they might not necessarily tell that server when they think they've done an excellent job. And I think we could all do more of that. I think it's just culture, human instinct to vent or complain when things aren't going how we would like, but when things are good, we just keep it to ourselves and don't say, hey, you've done a really great job today. So I think more of that will just help everybody be more positive and have a more positive life. The next thing on my list is volunteer. This has a big impact on giving you a more positive life. It's another one that's probably mentioned a lot, but for good reason again. There are so many different ways you can volunteer depending on what interests you. Time is valuable and not something that we can get back, but I can't think of a better way to spend your time than volunteering. You can decide, depending what you want to do, how much time you want to dedicate to it. It doesn't have to be a huge time commitment if you don't want it to be. It could be one day a year, whatever works for you and your lifestyle. Back in 2018, I joined my local Lions Club, and I'm still a member. It has been a positive and rewarding experience for me, and I've met some really wonderful people through that organization. Through my experiences in the Lions Club, it had me feeling like I could be doing even more. So now I'm mentoring a high school student through the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. I think volunteering can help you live a more positive life in numerous ways. The social aspect, meeting new people, having a positive impact on somebody else's day, maybe even their life. And it gives you perspective on your own life as well. It can make you realize how fortunate you are. And going back to kind of that gratitude, it can make you appreciate things that maybe you have previously taken for granted. And one thing I've found is that if I'm kind of in a rut or feeling like maybe life isn't going how I dreamed of, or things aren't going my way that particular week, or whatever it may be, that when I'm doing these volunteer organizations, going to the different events and activities, helping other people, it just makes you feel better because you know that you're doing something good for others, and it kind of also takes you outside of yourself and just thinking about yourself, because you realize that there are many other people that have it so much harder, and it really makes you not only feel good, but realize, oh, maybe that thing I was griping about or feeling meh about really isn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things. So those are some of my suggestions of things that have worked for me to have a more positive life. But as I said in the beginning, where I'm always trying to improve, grow, get better, there are things that I'm still working on to contribute to having a more positive life. So while those things I mentioned are ongoing, there's other things that I would like to work on even more to also add to having a more positive life. One being daily stretching. I've mentioned this in a vlog, I think, but this is something that I would like to make a habit in order to have better flexibility and make my joints and muscles have less soreness. And so far, I've not made it a habit. I can give all the excuses of I don't have time, it's too hard early in the morning, at night I'm doing workouts, and by the time I'm done workouts and dinner, it's time for bed. But I'm sure there are times I could fit it in. I just thought of one right now, so thank you for this video helping me think of that, because I kind of think of it as, oh, I have to do it as this is my stretching time. Nothing else is going on during my stretching time. But I just realized that instead of sitting on the couch watching a TV show, I can sit on the floor and stretch during part of that TV show. So I think I'm going to try that out and see if that helps me to make it more of a habit. Stay tuned. And one that I've been made aware of just from watching other people's videos, reading things, all of that, and podcasts, I think, that I am going to work on is complaining less or not complaining. This is one that I recently started trying, and I think in general I'm not aware of how much or how often I'm complaining. I think it can lead to some negativity, plus just contribute to more complaining, because I think a lot of times just in general, people feel like, oh, we're having a conversation or we're venting or whatever, but really it's complaining, and it leads to more complaining and negativity. And now that I've been made aware of it, I'd like to work on it. I did try it for a few days, and it did have me feeling more positive, the fact that I wasn't complaining about things, because I wasn't, by complaining, focusing on the negative in a way. But it also makes you aware of just how much others complain. So maybe you should try it as an experiment. Go one day without complaining, or catching yourself if you're complaining, and notice how much others around you are complaining about things and not even realizing it. So this is one that I know is going to take some work, because it's something that we all do as part of our human nature and society, and throughout life, so it kind of becomes a habit, but one that we're not even aware of. So until you become aware of it, it's hard to break, but also it's easy to fall back into old patterns. So I have to keep kind of consciously realizing it and reminding myself. So I know it's not going to happen immediately. I know I'm going to have to work on it, but I'm going to strive to do that, and hopefully I will notice a difference. If I'm successful with it and am able to do it consistently as a good habit, then maybe I'll do another video on it. Another thing I'd like to work on is being more present. I'm a planner. I like to plan ahead for things and have my schedules and routines and calendars and all that. So I'm often looking ahead to the next thing. Okay, what's happening tomorrow? What's happening next week, next month? What's coming up? Da, 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 you know. But I want to make sure that that doesn't keep me from being present and appreciating the moment I'm in. Whether that be a wonderful grand moment, such as a birthday, graduation, wedding, or a random Wednesday. And the fact that I get to be here on this random Wednesday recording this video for you, enjoying time with my cat, enjoying sunshine outside today. So it's very natural to look to what's coming next. And I think it sometimes keeps us from appreciating the moment that we are in right now, whether that be just the everyday or not. Because if you stop and think about it, those big moments such as vacations, anniversaries, milestones, those things are all wonderful and should be celebrated. But the bulk of our life is the everydays in between. And I think we need to give those more appreciation. I recently got the Headspace app on a trial, and I haven't done much meditating with it, but some of the things I've watched with it, they have videos and stuff, I have found helpful in just changing the mindset. Hi, Duncan. And giving me some helpful insights. For instance, I'm someone that can have a hard time when we go for stretches of time with just gray, cloudy weather, which is the norm here in the winter. But I have noticed it affects my mood. So let's say we have a week of gray, cold. I don't feel like doing anything. I don't want to say grumpy, but yeah, I just don't feel motivated to do anything. I complain about the weather. I just feel not as much energy and like kind of bleh. But then the sun comes out, and on a sunny day, oh man, I've got so much energy. I feel happy and positive. One of the videos on the app pointed out that even when it is a gray, cloudy day, the sun and the blue sky is still there. It's still up there. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just hidden behind the clouds. And it's a good way to shift perspective. So instead of just thinking, oh, gray, cloudy, blah, just remember, take that moment to remember. But the sun and blue sky is still there. And hopefully that can help you feel a little happier and more positive. So just those little mindset shifts I find can be helpful reminders at times. Which brings me to my final thing that I would like to work on more to have a more positive life. And that is to get outside more, even when it is cold and gray. I love getting outside when it's sunny, especially when it's winter, because those days can be few and far between in winter. But I know the benefits of getting outside and of taking walks. So I'd like to push myself to do that more. So even though it might be cold and gray, I know it's going to be that way for months in the Northeast. So instead of waiting for summer or waiting for it to be a warm, sunny day, I need to get out and walk and appreciate the other days, the overcast days, the windy days, the colder days. Doesn't have to be a long walk, but I need to get out more, and because just having that fresh air I know can be good for you, and staying inside all the time, even, I mean, I walked my car and all that, but yeah, that's gonna be a goal. Get outside more in the fresh air and take a walk, because I know they can be really good for this. I hope that you found these tips on how to live a more positive life helpful. I can't wait to read your suggestions of new tips that I can try out. I hope this video came across okay, made sense, wasn't too rambly or all over the place. I wrote out notes to try to keep me on task. I feel like sometimes with these longer talking videos, it can get a bit rambly. So I hope it was helpful. I hope it made sense to you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you going to try any of these out? Do you already do some of these yourself? Let's do what we can to make YouTube and the internet a more positive place with our feedback. If you are not subscribed, I hope that you will consider doing so, as I would love to chat with you more in the future. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and want to have a more positive life. And I will talk to you soon. Bye!